So let us begin.
So projecting Guru Maharaj, so just 1 minute. Kaumadi, are we good?
Just projecting in the Hindi room.
Just 1 minute will be good.
We're doing some technical adjusting. We can't start yet.
Vamsidhari Prabhu, all the translation rooms also can hear Maharaj's voice?
We will increase Mataji now.
I'm silent. I'm not saying anything. Nothing to translate. I'm just waiting for technology to smile and say, go ahead. We heard this morning about Lord Brahma, of course, morning our time, that when Krishna showed his so many forms of Narayana or Vishnu Murti forms, personified was the 24 elements and time and karma. And I'm wondering, what's the personification of technology? What does Mr. Technology look like? Because we want him to cooperate right now, please. We're ready to go?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
We can go? Comedy, do we have the green light?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, let us chant together, and I chant swiftly, so keep up with me, please. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Sadmasukalpa Briksha Lakshabratesu Sarabir Abhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrahma Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venum Konvantam Aravinda Dalayataksham Barhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Alola Chandrakala Sadvanamalya Vankshi Ratnangadam Pranaya Kela Kalavilasam Shamam Tribangalalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Punjami Angani Asya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sarujvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitam Achyutim Anadim Anantarapam Adyam Puranam Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhakto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Fantastu Koti Shatavatsara Sampragamyo Vayo Ratapi Manasomani Pungavanam Sopyasti Yadvapada Sincha Vichencha Tatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ekopya Saura Chayatam Jagadanda Kotin Yat Shaktirasti Jagadanda Chayadantaha Andantarasta Paramanu Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yad Baba Baba Tadino Manajasta Taiva Samprapya Rupa Mahimasha Nayana Bushaha Suktaita Yameva Nikama Pratataistavanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabis Tabirya Eva Nijaro Kataya Kalabihi Goloka Eva Nivisatya Kilatma Bhoto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Premanjana Churita Bhakti Virochanena Santak Sadaiva Hridayesha Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundarama Chanchu Ganasarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ramadi Murtishu Kalani Amena Tishtan Nana Vataram Akarod Bhubaneshu Kintu Krishnak Swayam Samavavak Paramak Pamanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti Koti Svashesha Vasudhadi Vibhoti Vinam Tad Brahma Nishkalam Anantam Ashesha Bhutam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Maya Hiyasya Jagadanda Shatani Sute Traigunya Tadvishaya Veda Vitayamana Sattvabalambi Parasattvam Vishuddha Sattvam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasamataya Manaksu Yatraninam Padiparam Smaruthamopetya Leelayatenu Bhavanani Jagatya Jasram Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Golokanamni Nijadamni Tadecha Tasya Devi Mahesha Haridama Suteshu Teshu Te Te Prabhava Nichaya Vihitascha Yena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Shristi Sati Pradaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha Chaye Vayasya Bhuvanani Vibharti Durga Ichchadarupam Apiyasya Chate Satesa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Shiram Yatha Didhi Vikara Vishesha Yogat Sanjayate Hidatak Pritagasti Hektoho Yaksham Bhutam Abhitata Samupaiti Karyad Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Deeparshir Eva Hidashabdhanam Abhyupetya Deepayate Vritahetu Samana Dharma Yastadrageva Itcha Vishnu Taya Vibhati Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yatkaranarnava Jaleva Chatisma Yoga Nidramananta Jagadanda Saroma Kopaha Adara Shaktim Avalambyam Param Swamurtim Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yas Yais Kanishvasita Kalamatavalamya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanataha Vishnur Mahansi Yasya Kalabhishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Vaspanya Takshma Sakaleshu Najesha Teja Sviyam Kiyad Prakariyad Tadvi Tadvadatra Brahmaya Esha Jagadanda Vidhana Karta Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yat Pala Pallava Yugam Vinidhaya Kumbha Dvandve Pranama Samaye Saganadi Rajaha Vighan Vihantam Anabasya Jagatrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Agnir Mehi Ambamarodishascha Kalastatatma Manasita Jagatrayani Yasmad Bhavanti Vibhavanti Vishanti Yangcha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Chakshu Esa Savitasa Grahanam Raja Samusta Suramurti Rashesha Tejaha Yasyagya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Dharma Tapapa Nichaya Shrutayasta Pangsi Ramadi Kita Patagava Dayaschi Jivaha Yadattama Prakata Prabhava Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yastvindra Gopa Matavendra Mahosra Karma Bandhanurupa Palabhajanam Atanoti Karmani Nirdahita Kintu Chabakti Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Yam Krodha Kama Sahaja Pranayadi Biti Vatsalya Moha Gura Gaura Masevya Bhavai Sanchintya Tasya Sadrishim Tanam Aparete Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam Shriya Kanta Kanta Purusha Kalpa Taravo Druma Bhumi Chintamani Gana Mayitayam Amritam Kata Ganam Natyam Ganamam Api Vangshi Yasaki Chidanandam Jyoti Param Tapitat Asvadyam Apicha Sa Yatra Kshiradvi Shravati Sarabi Vyasya Sumahan Niveshad Yakyopa Prachati Nyahi Yatrapi Samaya Vajeshveta Dvipam Tamaham Iha Golokamitiyam Vedantaste Santa Shati Virala Charakati Paye Ishara Parama Krishna Chit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Everybody disappeared. We're hoping that you'll appear again. There you are. Okay. Do we have Guru Das? Is everybody that's supposed to be here? Guru Das, can you unmute yourself and let us know? Okay, don't let us know. Okay, we're getting the screens. Those who are being initiated should be visible on the screen. There we go. There we go. Very good. Very good. Very good. We're getting there. Almost there. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Could we get, so I can see them? I'd like to see them. They have nice faces. They're smiling. It's a very special occasion. I want to thank you very much. Very, very good. This is towards the concluding portion of our virtual Vrindavan Yatra. And it's not quite the same having initiation ceremony virtually as it is in person. But given the circumstances, we're very fortunate that Technology Prabhu was helping us to do all of this, meet together and see the places, at least photographs of the places together, and hear the katha. Just today I was reading a nice statement about technology. Prabhupada was being asked by a devotee named Suhotra Swami, the sannyasi disciple of Prabhupada, from America, did most of his service in Germany, and he had joined recently, 1974 July, he had joined the Library Party. Library Party means there was a group of devotees headed by Satsrup Maharaj, who were taking the responsibility of going to universities and selling standing orders. Standing orders means so many books published, and any books further published by Prabhupada, they would get a copy, and they were inviting professors to take standing orders from themselves and or for the school libraries, etc. It was following the idea of Bhaktivinoda Thakur that at least the educated people should be recipients of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and so forth. And there was a whole group of devotees, very themselves scholarly and powerful in different ways, doing that service. So Suhotra Swami joined that party, and they were meeting in Chicago in 1974 July, around the Rath Yatra in Chicago time. And there was a personal darshan with Prabhupada having to do with the library party. And there are questions and answers. And one of the questions, the burning question that Sahota Swami wanted to ask Prabhupada was how to answer when professors ask the question, is technology discussed in the Vedas? And the reason for asking that question in particular, it seemed to be a rather common question, is a scholar around that time had written a book called Chariot of the Gods. Maybe some of you have even seen the book around, Chariot of the Gods. Eric von Daniken. Eric von Daniken had written this book. So the professors were asking, what's in these books about technology? So he asked Prabhupada, how should we respond to a question like that? And Sahotra Swami's interview said, before he even got the words out of his mouth, Prabhupada banged his knuckles on the desk and said, Vedic technology is Sri Guru Parampara. And that's all he said. Vedic technology is Sri Guru Parampara. So here we are, Prabhu's Vedic technology. Zoom in many different languages and Sri Guru Parampara, connecting with disciplic succession. Virtually, but that's what we have to work with at this time. And so I was especially moved by that because of what we've been doing. We're visiting Vrindavan virtually and using technology. But the essence is not the technology, but it's the connection with, making the connection with disciplic succession. No, all of you being initiated, you've been involved with Krishna consciousness for quite some time. You have teachers and you have teachings. But there was a question that came from the Chinese group. People in general don't know much about the 6 Goswamis. And for that matter, they don't know much about the disciplic succession members, what to speak of even the principle of disciplic succession. We, in our, I understand one of the topics that Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj spoke about is a different version, but I'm sure, some overlapping points on disciplic success, or the 6 Goswamis. And 6 Goswamis are very important personalities in our Hare Krishna movement, as we've been hearing. I don't need to repeat. The principle of Diksha is making connection with disciplic succession. And through disciplic succession, making connection with Krishna in a formal way. Now, this is specifically speaking of those who are receiving first initiation, and that's all but one of you on my screen here. Making the connection with Krishna through disciplic succession, making the connection with disciplic succession through the disciplic succession, making the connection with Krishna. And without disciplic succession or without descending mercy, then technology isn't going to help us, and being intelligent. I mean, some of you here are from Singapore, and some of you are from Bangalore, and some of you from high technology jobs and places, and all of that is, it helps people get distracted from Krishna, if not properly used. It can help people connect with Krishna properly used. And so Vedic technology is Sri Guru Parampara. And we've been hearing a good amount, at least in the time that I've spent, about Srimati Radharani visiting Radhakund, and then visiting Yavat, and visiting Suryakund, and Terakadamba, and Radharani, Radharani, Radharani for 8 days, Radharani. And I hope many of you are feeling more connected, in addition to disciplic succession and our 6 Goswamis in particular, but to Srimati Radharani. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila Chapter 1, the title of that chapter is The Spiritual Masters, plural. And in that first chapter of Adi Lila, there's a very nice concluding statement that Prabhupada makes in text number 46. You can look it up later if you like. Prabhupada has been explaining the principle of Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru and how they compare and how they're what they are. And then he speaks specifically about Diksha Guru and makes a very interesting statement that according to Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and various other of our disciplic succession members, consistently they write that the spiritual master is either an intimate associate of Srimati Radharani or an empowered representative of Lord Nityananda. So that's our disciplic succession. And it's very, in one sense, a very high qualification, in another sense, quite simple, as Prabhupada would say. Quite simple means we simply receive and we transmit what we received without change. We receive and we transmit what we receive without change. That's disciplic succession. And we're making connection with Krishna through disciplic succession. Of course, the principal element is sound, Vani, or Shabda Brahman, or as we've been hearing, Aparusheya Shabda Praman. That's some nice Sanskrit terms. The connection with Krishna is through sound, in simple terms. So what we've been doing is part of the process of stirring and awakening our dormant and unfortunately forgotten relationship with Krishna. And by that process of hearing, awakening that remembrance of our relationship with Krishna. And this Diksha is meant specifically for the purpose of honoring the efforts that all of you have made for some period of time, some of you a good number of years, your first initiates, good number of years, practicing Krishna consciousness faithfully and abiding by the regulations of sadhana bhakti and trying to make the connection with Krishna very nice. Traditionally, in hearing Srila Prabhupada give initiation talks, invariably he would speak 2 verses along with everything, whatever else he spoke. So I like to do that also. The Tasmat Guru Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttama Shabde Pare Chanishnatam Brahmani Upashama Shrayam. Tasmat Guru Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. The purpose of initiation, the purpose of making a connection with spiritual master and disciplic succession is Jigyasu, is being inquisitive in the Shreya Uttama. Shreya is different than Preya. Here we have a couple of children in the room and they're in the Preya mood. But that's okay, they're children. And then there's some adults that are in the Shreya mood. And the Shreya mood is not just short-term distraction, but long-term benefit. And Shreya Uttama means the ultimate long-term benefit Shreya, and Shreya Uttama. So one who is inquisitive about Shreya Uttama, Tasmat Gurun Prapadyeta, one requires to Prapadyeta, surrender to the spiritual master when one has such an inquisitiveness. Tasmat Guru Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttama Shabde Pare. Pare means transcendental. This is an indication of the qualification of Guru. Shabde Pare Cha Nishnatam. They're have firmly fixed under, they've heard, they're firmly fixed in the conclusions of scripture. Brahmani Upashamashayam. And they've left to the side any other consideration. Now, one may be a grahastha, but even in the duties of grahastha, leaving aside other consideration, that is material enhancement of life, amelioration, amenities, enjoying the temporary and so forth, is left behind for those who are making nice spiritual progress. And the other verse, Tad Vigyanartam Sagurum Eva Abhigachet Samatpani Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. I'm sure you're familiar with this verse. Samatpani, just like Krishna and his Sudama Brahmin friend, Samatpani, they went to the forest to get wood for the yajna for their spiritual master, Sandipani Muni. That's what that Samatpani means. Very, very simple service, the mood of humble service. That's part of the fabric of one who wants to make nice progress in spiritual life. Oh, looks like in Telugu, somebody is right in front of the camera. Oh, Pujari Prabhu, you're right in front of the camera, and I can't see that. There we go. Okay, okay, thank you. The camera's trying to focus now. I can see you, you're out there somewhere. Okay, thank you. Tasmat Guru Prapadyeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttama, that we did already. Tad Vigyanartam Sagurum Eva Abhigachet Samatpani Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Yeah. It's imperative to take this step that you're taking shelter of disciplic succession. Prabhupada's phrase was the current link, like a chain has links, and the chain is the disciplic succession chain. And one takes shelter of the current link, and by so doing, one is taking shelter of the chain. And the chain is connecting to what's on the other end of the chain. And that's Krishna. Krishna is the basis of our making connection with Krishna. That's the purpose of disciplic succession. It's the function of Guru is giving that connection, reminding people of that forgotten connection, helping them to make, to lessen the affinity of materialism, of trying to be the enjoyers of the temporary. So that's what initiation means. And here we are, trying to make our I'm seeing on the screen Ananda Vrindavan. Could you turn that? There we go. It's very distracting seeing the skylight and everything that's going on over there. Thank you. I'm sorry. I know that Devaki Nandan Prabhu has a very tight schedule, and over there it's 9 o'clock, and he's probably got some things he's got to do today. So we're going to just shift gears and ask each of you to take your initiation vows and receive your initiation beads and your initiation name. I'll say one other thing. I'd like to say one other thing. The process, I mean, to doing this virtually is something that's quite new, but the process itself is very old and traditional. This principle of changing or receiving neck beads, receiving tilak, receiving a name, and receiving mantra, and receiving a deity. So those of you that are connected to a temple serve the deity at the temple. And those of you that have deities in your home, you serve the deity in your home. But these 5 items, pancha sanskar it's called, it's the same thing that Srila Prabhupada gave us. He just didn't give us all the Sanskrit terminology. But we're fine. Just the point I'm making is we're following a very ancient system, except doing it virtually is kind of interesting. Technology Prabhu is cooperating so far. So let's start with our Singapore group of devotees. And I see Govardhan Das. Govardhan Das, your wife is one of the persons receiving Diksha, is that right? You're muted, but you have to unmute yourself.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Maharaj, it is my mother.
It's your mother. It's your mother.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Yes, Maharaj.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
I've heard only good things about you from Devaki Nandan. He really likes you a lot. And I think he likes your mother a lot too. But it may have something to
He's
do
very
with how much-
kind.
may have something to do with how much he likes you. So, well, before we ask the Singapore devotees to take their vows, etc., if Devaki Nandan is available, I'd like Devaki Nandan to say something very briefly about each of these 3 devotees. Devaki, can you unmute?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's a little echoey, but I can hear you.
Okay. Maharaj, thank you so much for accommodating our timings, recently accommodating you, you're very kind. With your permission, I'll just speak very briefly about all 3 of the
Your voice is garbled. Can you do something with the microphone closer to your mouth or something?
Okay, what about now? Is this better?
Little better, little better, little better.
Okay.
Not great, but better.
Okay. You're going to say something, Maharaj?
No, I wish you were wherever Govardhan is because his voice was really clear. But keep going because we have what we have.
So we'd like to speak about the 3 initiates who are going to be initiated today. There's Pramila Mataji, who is the mother of Govardhan Prabhu. She's 76 years old. And I have known her for the last 20 years, maybe. And I've known the family for a very long time. And they have all been initiated. And Pramila Mataji particularly, she's been a stalwart in the family. She has followed regulating principles all her life. She's been chanting 20 rounds for the last few years. And she's been an amazing devotee for all these years too. She takes part in services even though she is advanced in age. And she and her husband Neil Madhav Prabhu. They have been great supporters of the congregation in Singapore, and they have guided their family, Govardhan Prabhu, his wife, and their children very nicely in Krishna consciousness. Their background is that they come from a Vaishnava family, and therefore, traditionally, their faith in Krishna has been very strong. So we're very, very happy that Pramila Mataji today is surrendering to you, Maharaj, because she has expressed a strong desire to be connected to Guru Parampara. And it was her desire to be connected to Guru Parampara that actually has brought about this situation. So that's Pramila Mataji, Maharaj.
What do you do for follow-up after that?
What do you do for follow-up? The follow-up is that she's surrendering to you, Maharaj. So she's in very, very good hands.
It sounds like Krishna's mercy is falling down like torrents of rain, and this is an amazing expression of her devotion and her service. This is great honor. Go ahead, next.
All right. I'd like to go on to Sachin Prabhu, who's over here. I think Sachin Prabhu's spiritual journey started many years ago when he was in Singapore, together with his wife, who is Shama Gopika Mataji. And he has been involved in the temple and the services, Maharaj, for the last 5 to 7 years. He's been a very steady presence in terms of service. He's always been very humble in his approach to service. He holds a very good position in his job, but personally, he's been a very good friend. I spend a lot of quality time with him as much as he does with me. He's taken his sadhana very seriously, and he's never been whimsical about surrendering to the process. And it wasn't just because of the fact that his wife had surrendered that he should surrender. In fact, this dialogue of surrendering in Guru Parampara has been going on for many years. And he's been very careful. And personally, he has always expressed that if he were to surrender to the spiritual master, he should do it with faith, and he must be very careful to do it to ensure that his vows are seriously taken. And that's his great qualification, Maharaj. He's young, he's energetic, and he's been a great asset to the devotees. So that's Sachin Prabhu.
I'm going to make a request. You speak a little more briefly to show a nice example for all of those that are going to be following your example. Thank you.
And I'd like, last but not least, we have Lakshmi Mataji. Lakshmi Mataji is educationally very qualified. She is a PhD. I've known her since the university days. She's married to Braja Haridas, who's here. He's a disciple of BBB Narasimha Maharaj. And they have been a very wonderful Krishna conscious couple, working hard, doing services. Lakshmi particularly is well poised to preach. She's just completed ISKCON communication course. Anupama Prabhu privately messaged me to say that she is cream de la cream because she passed with flying grades, and he told me that you have to get her involved in communication in Singapore. And not only does she communicate very effectively, she's very active in the Srimad Bhagavatam group for the ladies, where she contributes very well. And she's also one of those preachers who does outreach preaching. She writes on Krishna conscious topics for the Singapore Hindu Center magazine, which is a very good way for us to insert ourselves into the mainstream. So that's Lakshmi Mataji, and we're very honored and happy that she is surrendering to you, Maharaj. That's all from me, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, in case you didn't know, Devaki Nandan by profession is a lawyer. And he has many other skills too. And one of them is brevity. If I had let him go, he would have gone on for all evening. So let's go directly. You have their beads, right?
Yes, I have
Okay,
the reach.
let's have them, give them the microphone. Let's start with Pramila. And Pramila can take her vows. Are you ready, Pramila? The camera's moving, so it looks like so are you. Okay. Okay. So there's, can you hear me okay, Pramila?
Mataji, can you hear Maharaj? You have to bring it closer.
Okay. So you're going to take a vow of, although you're chanting 20 rounds, as your age gets up there, you maybe, let's take the vow of 16 rounds, okay? You rounds you chant every day? Minimum? That was 16, right? Okay. And there's this, as you've been doing your entire life, you'll continue following the 4 regular principles, yes?
Yes. I'm following.
Okay. And as you've been doing your last so many years, you'll continue following Srila Prabhupada's teachings. I'm sure you'll do that. Okay? Very good. Your initiated name is Padyavali Devidasi. Padyavali is one of the wonderful books that Rupa Goswami wrote. And I'm sure that you'll enjoy reading the book after whom or after which you're named, Padyavali Devidasi. And let's go in the same sequence you went. Sachin. So we have Lakshmi coming. It's okay. We should. Okay. Hare Krishna. And how many rounds have you been chanting? For how long?
I'm chanting 16 rounds. I've been chanting like almost a year. So
More than 2 years. Okay. And you'll continue chanting 16 rounds for the rest of your life. The 16 rounds daily minimum.
yeah, Maharaj. I chant minimum 16 rounds for my life.
You can chant more. That's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah, minimum 16.
Okay. And the 4 rules that you'll follow, the regular principles.
Yeah, Guru Maharaj. I follow the 4 rules.
So you want to recite them, what the 4 are?
Yeah. So no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex.
And you'll continue as you've been doing, carefully following Srila Prabhupada's teachings, yes?
Yeah, Guru Maharaj. I follow.
Okay, very good. Your initiated name is Sundara Gora Das. There's your beads. Okay. And now Lakshmi. How long have you been chanting 16 rounds? For what period of time have you been chanting 16 rounds? Lakshmi?
About a year.
About a year. Okay. And you'll, how many rounds you continue chanting minimum for the rest of your life?
Minimum 16 rounds.
Very good. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling.
Good. And you'll continue following Srila Prabhupada's teachings as carefully as you can the rest of your life. Very good. Your initiated name, Leela Sundari Devi Dasi. Leela Sundari. The names don't need explanation. They're so nice. Okay. So thank you, Devaki. Whatever it is that you need to attend to, you feel free to go do that.
His Holiness Romapada Maharaj ki. Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Let's go next to Bangalore. And Shamkund, are you ready? You're muted. We can't hear you. You have to unmute. There we go. And you know how to speak less than he spoke, right?
I try, Guru Maharaj. Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you much better than I could hear him. Go ahead.
We have with us His Grace Hariharan Prabhu and Hema Mataji. Hariharan Prabhu has been practicing Krishna consciousness for the past 16 years. And he got in touch with devotees in the University of South Florida, where he developed an attraction to the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. And later, when he came in touch with you during the yatra, he liked the depth of your lectures and he got very attracted to it. And the next transformation in his life was serving your divine grace. Recently, he has been helping in serving in his local congregation, as also in the yatras, services, documentation, etc. Along with him, we have his wife, Hema Mataji. She started her life trying to follow what her husband is doing. But by associating with your disciples, as also the more services that she did for you in the back end, she developed a taste for hearing your lectures and also to Srila Prabhupada's teachings. They are a pillar on the local congregation where they are, rendering many services and also helping other devotees.
Hare Krishna. Now, their beads didn't arrive yet. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So when your beads arrive, they arrive. And we had that same problem in China. I know the Chinese devotees will cry on your shoulder and you can cry on their shoulder. And sending packages to China these days isn't very smooth without all the detail. So, especially from the US. But it finally got through. So, your vows, Hariharan, let's start with you. How many rounds you'll chant every day?
I'll be following 4 regulative principles. They are no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. And I would regularly follow and read Srila Prabhupada's books
Okay.
and his instructions.
Very good. What about the rounds? I didn't hear that one. You may have said it, but I didn't hear. How many rounds you'll chant? How many rounds?
I'll chant minimum of 16 rounds, Guru Maharaj.
Okay. I thank you very much. Okay. So your initiated name is Hari Sham Das. These names don't need an explanation. It's real easy. And Hema, you're following your husband again. Very happily. You have a nice smile, both of you. Okay. How many rounds you're making a vow to chant how many rounds every day? Minimum for the rest of the day?
Minimum of 16 rounds, Guru Maharaj.
Very good. And the 4 rules you'll follow?
No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and no gambling.
And like your good husband, you'll continue carefully following as best you can Prabhupada's teachings, yes?
Sure.
Your initiated name is Hema Sundari. That's the name of Srimati Radharani, by the way. Okay, because her form is golden. Okay, where do we go next? Let's go to Indore. I see the Indore folks down at the bottom left of the screen. Jagatananda, you can be brief too, right? You're going to speak something about Meenakshi. Jagatananda, I'm waiting for you to speak something about Meenakshi.
Guru Maharaj, can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. That's good.
Hare Krishna. So it gives me great pleasure to speak a little bit about Meenakshi Mataji. She has been practicing Krishna consciousness for 15 years or so. She has been allowing and supporting her good husband, Mahamuni Prabhu, to serve the Vaishnavas in all kinds of ways. She herself is very, very artistic and talented in making puppets, arts and crafts, etc. So she makes puppets for the children. And she's also currently doing Sunday school services. Over the last 2 years, she has been studying Srila Prabhupada books carefully, regularly. She's also been facilitating and enabling other Mataji's groups to read scriptures. And through this study of Prabhupada books and regular communication with you, I feel she is much, much stronger now in her Krishna consciousness. She's a very simple lady. She serves God Nitai at home. And she has 2 children whom she serves, Keshav Madhav and Ishani. She has good relationships with her in-laws, her family members.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Meenakshi, the big day. You've been eagerly anticipating this event. So your vows now, how many rounds of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra you'll chant on your beads every day?
Minimum 16 rounds, Maharaj.
Very good. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling, and no meat eating.
Okay. Is that one of your children making some noise? Yes? Okay. And you'll continue as you've been doing, following Srila Prabhupada's teachings. Yes?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Okay. Your initiated name is Madhuri Mukhi Devi Dasi. Madhuri Mukhi is a very nice name. It's the name of Srimati Radharani, and it means she who has a very sweet face. Big smile. Madhuri Mukhi. Okay. Who's it? Rajat? Who is Satyavrata going to speak something on your behalf, or who is somebody locally, or what's the situation? Do you know?
Maharaj, my wife or Shrida Prabhu can speak.
Your wife's going to speak on your behalf?
Or maybe Shrida Prabhu.
What?
Shrida.
Singapore Shrida. Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead. Unmute yourself, Shrida.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, you have a very ecstatic microphone there. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. So sorry, a bit of technical.
There, I see you. And let's see if we can hear you.
Maharaj, I know Rajat Prabhu from past 3 years. We met in the Yatra. He has been regularly associating with Satyavata Prabhu, and he's been very nice devotee. He values the devotees association so much that he regularly comes and hears from Satyavata Prabhu and many other devotees. So I wish him really all the best by taking initiation from you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
True eloquence is truth concisely spoken. Well done.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, Rajat, are you ready for your vows?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. How many rounds you'll chant every day for the rest of your life?
Minimum 16 rounds. Maharaj.
Good. That's an important vow. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No intoxication, no meat eating, no illicit sex, and no gambling.
Very good. And you'll also continue to follow Prabhupada's teachings as best you can for the rest of your life.
Yes, Maharaj.
Very good. Your initiated name is Rama Priya Das. That's the name of the Lord of Vaikuntha, Rama Priya Das. The spelling, etc., is in a PDF that should have been sent to you, or will when next time you get to your phone or your computer or something, you'll have all of you will have the correct spelling of your names. So wish you the best. Hare Krishna. Now we have Kanaka Manjari. Where are you? Kanaka Manjari. There's Kanaka Manjari. Okay. Can you speak something about these 3 devotees?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. These 3 devotees are in our reading group where we read Srila Prabhupada's books daily. Vijayalakshmi Mataji is the mother of Amritakeli Mataji. She has interest in Krishna consciousness and the Shastras. She recites verses from the scriptures very nicely. Her husband has also agreed for her taking initiation. Sitaram Naidu Prabhu and Ramlakshmi Mataji are parents of Vansidhari.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. Can you get closer to the microphone somehow?
Oh.
Yeah, that would be nice. Closer to the microphone, please.
Sitaram Naidu Prabhu and Ramlakshmi Mataji are parents of Vansidhari Prabhu and in-laws of Sakrupa Mataji.
Kanaka Manjari. Hey, Kanaka Manjari. I think we're going to skip. I think we're going to skip it because I can't hear you. So,
the local devotees want to say something. Like Vamsi Krishna Prabhu, just want to say something.
Go ahead.
He is our local temple leader.
Okay.
And they have been nurtured very much under his care. So
okay, Vamsi, go for it.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Maharaj.
Oh, your voice is clear. Thank you.
Maharaj, Sita Ramaswamy and his wife, both a couple, they are in our association from 2012 because of the inspiration given by their son, Vamsidhari Prabhu. So they started coming to our center and slowly they picked up chanting. And they're very interested in whatever service we engage them. They're very happy to do it. And especially Sita Ramaswamy and his wife, they're very fond of decoration and making garlands for the Lord here. And Ramalakshmi Mataji is also very fond of cooking. So whatever service they are able to do, we're always ready to come and help us in the local preaching going on here, Maharaj.
Good.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. And what about your mother? She said, okay. So now let's do the vows. That's
mic.
Sitaram Swami.
ఆయనకి మైక్ ఇవ్వు ముందు సీతారామస్వామి గారు.
Okay. Is he an English speaking?
No, Maharaj, he speaks Telugu only.
Okay. So you just ask him the three things in Telugu and I'm good.
ఓకే మహారాజ్. సో మీ దీక్ష తీసుకున్న వాళ్ళు పాటించాల్సిన నియమాలు ఏమిటో చెప్పండి. 4 నియమాలు చెప్పండి. నో మీట్ ఈటింగ్, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex.
Okay, you just
So
do
he's
it.
told that.
Yeah, I'm taking your word for it. Okay, so we're ready now. Do you have his beads?
Yes, Maharaj, I have his beads.
Okay. His initiated name is Sitapati Das.
ఈ దీక్ష నామం సీతాపతి దాస్. సీతాపతి దాస్ ప్రభుకి జై.
Sitapati is the name of Ramachandra, the husband.
సీతాపతి అనేది రామచంద్రుని యొక్క నామం.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Next mic.
And his good wife.
రామలక్ష్మి మాతాజీ. 4 నియమాలు ఏమిటో చెప్పండి. No meat eating.
Yeah.
No intoxication. No gambling and no illicit sex.
And the chanting?
ఎన్ని నియమాలు జపం చేయాలి? Minimum 16 rounds.
Okay. And the other question, following Prabhupada's teachings?
శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదుల వారి యొక్క నియమాలన్నీ కూడా మీరు అనుసరిస్తారా జీవితాంతం అని అడుగుతున్నారు. She is willing to do.
I'm sure she is. Her initiated name is Vani Priya.
Maharaj, can you please repeat because we're unable to hear properly the name?
Vani Priya.
Vani Priya Mataji. Vani Priya Devidasi Mataji ki jai. Vani Priya.
Vani Priya can mean one who holds the instructions very dear or one who is dear to the instructions.
వాణి ప్రియ అంటే ఉపదేశాలను చాలా ప్రియముగా స్వీకరించేటువంటి ఆమె అని అర్థం. మీరు రండి దయచేసి.
Now, Amrita Kelly's mother, is she with you? She's in the same place. Okay.
Hare
Krishna.
అక్కడే కూర్చోండి. 4 నియమాలు చెప్పాలి కదా. సరే ఇలా రండి.
You got to come forward to the camera.
కెమెరా కూర్చోండి. Yes, Maharaj.
Okay. Ask her again in Telugu the same 3 questions, please.
4 నియమాలు ఏమిటో చెప్పండి. ఎన్ని మాలలు జపం చేయాలి? 16 మాలలు. శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదుల వారి యొక్క నియమాలను మీరు జీవితాంతం అనుసరించడానికి. Yes, Maharaj. She is done.
Your initiated name is Vraja Mandala Devidasi.
Vrajamandala Devidasi. Vrajamandala Devidasi Mataji ki jai.
That doesn't need an explanation either.
దీనికి కూడా వివరణ అవసరం లేదనుకుంటున్నాను నేను.
Has she been attending the classes? Because we've been showing this map of Vrajamandala again and again. She's been attending? Ask her. Oh, they're muted. Okay. Okay. Now, Vrajeshwari, this introducing and all of that stuff is my custom, my practice is to do that for first initiates. That's okay. It's okay. So we're not neglecting you. We're just. Nice to see your good husband by your side there. Are you in the, where are you right now?
We are in a place in Gulf, Bahrain, Kingdom of Bahrain.
You're in Bahrain. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you have the Zoom link from Guru Das, yes, Rajeshri? Okay, so maybe 5 minutes or so, I'll go to my computer and we'll do the Gayatri part. So all of you who have a fire yagya to take part in, please commence. And those of you that are going to do something else, you can do something else. I mean, Meenakshi wants to wait till I come to India, and you may have a long wait. You have to ask Mr. COVID Prabhu and see what he has to say about that. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Just want to offer this garland to you.
Oh, thank you very much. It looks beautiful. I bet it's fragrant too. Very beautiful garland. Thank you. Hare Krishna.